Welcome Ghosts and Ghouls to another episode of My Spooky Life. Last time we were talking about how I moved into a new apartment again. And in this new apartment, nothing really, other than it took us forever just to get it. It didn't really have anything special to it, otherwise, paranormal wise. The only thing I did find, and I already got rid of the picture because it's best not to hang on to those kind of things, was a little picture of a boy that, it's average to find these type of pictures in Mexico. That's mine. For school. You have to take multiple, they give you like a pack of 20 or something, and you use it for your school ID, your medical ID, things like that. And I found that, and it was in the closet, the door behind me. And the weird thing about the closet is that it's always cold. I'm not sure if it's because it's, shares a wall with the outside, or if it's as simple as the AC, the air conditioner connects to it through the floor. It's a little weird because during the summer it's still cold even though everything else is really hot, and there's no air conditioning vent in there, so it's really weird. At first I thought, maybe it was haunted, and that was me messing with the wall. But it's not. At least I don't think it is. It's not anymore. We already did the whole cleaning. And so at this apartment, there's been a couple of things that are weird, other than the regular shadows and things like that, and that's normal. The main thing that I've noticed is with the dogs. So before, when we first moved in, I'll see if I can find a picture and I can post it in the video. When we first moved in, Persephone, one of my dogs, loved to get on the counter in the kitchen. She would jump up and look around and try to find something to eat, something to chew on, or anything, right? So a couple of times when I've come home, I've actually found the kitchen knife on their bed. Like, she went and grabbed it and put it on their bed. None of them were hurt, luckily. They weren't hurt at all. But it was just so weird. Like, why would you, like, out of everything to grab, why would you grab the biggest kitchen knife that we had? Also, she grabbed the roll of aluminum foil. And so that was the first instance. So from there, we started putting everything up so there's no way she can get to it unless she figures out how to open the drawers. And then after that, maybe a couple of days later, I have a spool of needles, like a spool of regular thread string, and a little red container that contains needles in it. And a container contains, I don't have it right now. I actually have no idea where it's at. It's been missing for about a week now. But in that little container, it has like 20 needles in it, all different sizes and stuff. And so I come home and that's on the floor, and I'm like, oh crap, she ate them. She ate the needles, because she's eaten batteries before. Like, she's popped them open, and we've had her checked, and nothing happens to her. Luckily, nothing happens to her. But I was worried, so I started looking around. I text my husband, hey, did you notice this? And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then as I'm looking around, I hear a noise by the screen door, and I go over, and on the floor there is a napkin. I pick up the napkin, and all the needles are under it, like as if someone gathered them there and put the napkin on top. And it was really bizarre, and I was like, I'll see if I can find that one too. I don't think I have those pictures anymore, but if I can, I'll put them up on the Instagram so you guys can see. And I was like, okay, so she didn't eat any of the needles. They were all gathered here and away from them, which was kind of weird. I'm like, okay, so if there's a ghost in here, it's not hurting anything. If anything, it's helping us, keeping anything from happening to the dogs, which I really appreciate. But it kind of got me wondering, like, okay, so what could it be? And it's still not good for it to be around, even if it's helping us with the dogs. And after that, we definitely made sure there was nothing she can get to. And that kept happening. Like, nothing happened after that because we made sure it was like baby proof. Like, I even got a gate, and I'll put that on the Instagram too. A baby gate, pretty much. Actually, it's a dog gate. It's a pet gate, like specifically for pets, and even has a smaller door on the big door for cats to go through, or smaller dogs, even though they can fit right through it, except for Zeus, he's too big. But so that keeps her out of the kitchen, even though she can most likely jump over it. It's only 4 feet off the floor, and she can jump 6 feet off the floor, but she hasn't tried, and I'm hoping she never does. But so that's there, so she doesn't get in the kitchen anymore. There's nothing, I don't leave anything out. I even have all my pencils and stuff in a special box because she chews on them like crazy. So, you know, nothing's happened for a while, and then I'm in the bedroom, I'm in here, and I hear her barking, like really, really loud. And what she does is, we have a, you know, that glass door for the patio, because I don't have a fence, it's just a slab of whatever. And so when people walk by with their dogs or even their cats, I've seen people take their cats outside, which I used to do too, to walk their cats, and she sees them and she starts barking at the window. Sometimes she charges it if they're too close to our apartment. So obviously I run out there to make sure she doesn't charge at the window and break it, and I find out she's not barking outside, she's barking at my kitchen. And it was just really weird. I was like, okay. And I'm not sure if I already told the story, I'm gonna have to go back and check. But you know, there was a shadow. Yes, I did tell you guys this story. Okay, so you know, there's that whole shadow thing that happened right after these other few instances, and you know, got rid of it with the light bubble. That's when I went over this with the light bubble. And those were, I guess, the 3 major events that kind of all came together and was connected with my dogs. That's happened here. Other than, you know, the shadows, I have, which I also covered, I was, you know, in bed and I turned it on and off and it just got closer. Gee, I probably shouldn't have gone over that earlier. You know, other than that, inside the apartment itself, nothing really major has happened. Outside, there has been quite a few things. Even this morning, which is why I'm wearing my Alien t-shirt, because I don't know, maybe I've just been watching too many movies lately. But while outside, while I was walking for a second, it was like 4:30 a.m. I heard like this weird sound, and the only thing I can compare it to is, in the movies, it sounds like an alien probe just kind of going whoop 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 throughout, like, I don't know, within the trees or something, I don't know. And I didn't record it because I left my cell phone inside, so I didn't have a chance to put up the phone and see if I can get some of the audio on there. But it kind of was weird. I was like, okay, maybe it's just too early for me. My brain doesn't function at 4:30 a.m. But it really sounded like an alien probe just going around. And after that, so before that, a couple months ago, not even a couple, maybe 2 months ago. That is a couple. Anyways, I was walking Hades, and it was maybe midnight. And as I'm walking him, I hear a loud thump, and it sounds like it's on the roofs. And I look up slowly because I'm really paranoid about it, and there's nothing there. But it sounded like someone landed on the roof and ran a little bit. And I was like, oh, okay, this is just like that scene from Signs, and it freaked me out. So I was like, okay, hurry up, poop, let's go. Make this fast, we gotta get out of here, we gotta go back inside. I always carry around a knife with me anyways, because I have had people like come up behind me out of nowhere. Luckily, it was just to say hi to Zeus. They wanted to say hi to him. But, you know, you never know. Because, as I said, none of the patios have fences. It's just, and I'll show that right now. Okay, so this is the patio. As you can see, there's no fence. And I don't know if you can see from here. There you go. The neighbors' fences, they also don't have fences. It's only the upstairs people that have little gates. And I'm gonna see if you can see from over here real quick. Oops, still zoomed in. There you go. It goes straight out to the street, to the parking lot area. So yeah, you know, there's no fences, straight outside. So, you know, I'm always really wary about who's around me, and, you know, make sure I'm able to defend myself, because you can go straight from the street from there. Like, I'm like a block away from the main road, so you never know who's going to be walking through here. And, well, that's actually kind of it. I felt like I'd be able to make more videos with more of the stuff that's happening, but I can pretty much summarize a lot of it to just being shadows and things like that. I haven't seen any full body apparitions in a while. At least I haven't been aware that it was a full body apparition. Um, oh, actually, I can tell you about when I used to work. I used to work at a pet store. I'm not going to say which one because I don't want to advertise them. And you know, I've had management tell me, you know what they always say, that every store is haunted, and I'm like, well, yeah, but this one is for sure. And the very first instance, one of the girls that used to work there, she said that she was in the back blow drying one of the dogs, and she heard someone scream in her ear, like really loud, and she thought it was a manager who used to work there as well. None of these people work there anymore. I don't even work there anymore. But because he had a reputation of coming in and messing with people all the time. So she turned around and she's like, okay. She got up and ran out too, and there was no one out there. And she asked, hey, did so and so come in here? And like another person that was outside in the lobby was like, no one came in. And she's like, okay. So kind of ignored it. And I even experienced that in background. I could have sworn I heard another girl come into the back and just yell, hey, as loud as she could. And I turned around, no one there, and I came back out there and I asked her, like, hey, did you just come back here? She's like, no. When she was like she was working on a dog, so there's no way she just stopped to go over there and scream at us and then come back. So there was a lot of voices, and there was this one girl, just in case you didn't know, there are mostly girls working there, women. She was a skeptic, completely skeptical about it. She's like, no way, that's not true. You guys are just imagining things, are going crazy. And so she's like, I want something to happen to me. I want something to happen. She kept saying that. And we're just like, you don't want to say that. You don't want to. But I'm like, okay, fine. And I'm like, keep taunting it, see what happens. And sure enough, several nights she was alone in the salon, because we never had a good staff, like numbers, like scheduling was all messed up all the time. And she was in the back alone, and she heard a grate, like in the kennels. There's like these grates, like little interwoven grates that we put in there so the dogs, if they use the restroom, they don't sit in it. Gives us a chance to get them out and then clean it and all that kind of stuff. She heard one of those fall over. Now these things are heavy. They don't just randomly fall over. Like you'd have to like really push it for it to fall over. And so she went back there and she checked and she's like, well, okay, there's someone back here. It must have just slipped. That's what she thought. And so she went back to the front, to the lobby area, grooming lobby area, and she heard thumping, like someone just going around slapping the crap out of tables or something, and it freaked her out. She's like, okay, maybe there is something here. But she was still pretty skeptical about it. So on another time, my friend Gio was there with her, and they were done early, so they grabbed phones that we call, portable phones that are specifically for the salon, and they go up front. And there's like this, even the store is like dead, like there's nothing going on. It's really close to closing. So they go up front, and they're up there just talking, and the register phone gets a call, and it says salon. And they're both holding the only portables there. Everyone that was in the store was up front, and they'd have to know that specific cash register phone extension number, like 3401 or 3402, 30, whatever it is. They'd have to know the exact same one. Like I worked there for almost 3 years, and I still don't know the exact number from it. So it was really weird. And they're like, well, we're up here. And they went back there, and they, looked, and it's not that very big of a store. So if you walk to the back and you look side to side, you'll see someone passing the aisles. And there was no one back there. And that freaked her out, and she stopped taunting the ghost. She's like, okay, so there's definitely something back here. I'm not gonna mess with it anymore. And I thought that was pretty cool. Because, it made a skeptic a believer, and that's always fun. After that, the whole voices thing, and the dogs themselves would go crazy in the back. Like, it's like all of them just barking, 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 going crazy. And I've opened the door before and said, "Hey!" He yells back there, and they all silent. Close the door, they're not barking anymore. Usually you open the door and you say, "Hey!" and they keep barking. They don't, it doesn't really shut them up. And usually, like, you drown it out because you get used to all the barking, but at the time I had a migraine. I was like, no. I'm like, "Hey, be quiet." But nothing, like, it's just quiet, and that usually doesn't work. Usually they keep barking. You have to go back there yourself and find the one that started it all and comfort them or figure out what's wrong and why they're barking. But that was weird in itself. And that's pretty much it for the store. So now I'm out of past events, as far as ghosts go. Just more current things. And like yesterday, I was, here home alone, and I had just walked the dogs. And I walk them one by one just to make sure that they don't distract each other. And on the second one, I put the lead on them and I go back outside, and my screen door is shut, which doesn't make sense. I only shut it when I'm done walking all three of them. Why would I shut it in between them? And I thought, well, maybe I did it on my own and I didn't realize it. But as I was outside, I heard it move again. And I turned around, and it was in the exact same position that I know of where I left it. So that was kind of weird. But that's all I have for now, guys. It's a really short video. It's been a crazy week. I've been getting up super early. As you know, got up 4:30. Not big a deal. It's just now that I'm a little more used to it, I'll be able to get back to making videos at a more proper time. For those who celebrate, Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to everyone. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to comment. I would love to know what you guys think about the videos. What can I change? What would you like me to add? I was actually thinking of doing something extra, other than letting you know what's been happening. I'm going to try to record more often so that everyday things are recorded when they happen. Maybe suggestion videos, what you'd like me to see doing. I'm very artsy. I do stuff. So anything, just leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And as usual, stay spooky. Thanks for watching.